And I'll start with this. You lost four in a row. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing about that, there's two goods and a bad. The good thing about it is you still made the playoffs. Okay. Yay. Yay. We're not a team that don't make the playoffs. So yay. I guess that's good. Bad thing is you at Baltimore in the first round at night in a rowdy environment again, instead of handling your business last week and going to play a team in the Texas who's struggling as bad as the Steelers.
Welcome to Six Rings and Counting. I'm your host, Corey Idle, and joining me to explain why losing the first playoff game isn't always bad, my man, Mr. Lou Willard. Lou, how we feeling?
Oh, I thought you were talking about a different Lou, because I can't explain to you how losing the first playoff game isn't always bad.
My Lanta.
I'm feeling like the lifelong fan of a team whose coaches done quit on them, have no confidence in them, despite what they get up there and preach in these damn interviews.
All right, let's talk about this right off the rip. Obviously, we go in, break down the game. We all know what happened. We lost to the Bengals 19-17, finished the season 10-7, end up wrapping up the season with the 6th seed facing Baltimore Saturday, January 11th at 8 p.m. Coaching. I have been complaining all season long about our coaching. Even in wins, I have not liked it. Lou, I feel like we're finally on the same page with this.
I'm the ultimate optimist. I mean, if the regulars that listen to the show know that. And I'll start with this. You lost four in a row. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing about that, there's two goods and a bad. The good thing about it is you still made the playoffs. Okay. Yay. Yay. We're not a team that don't make the playoffs. So yay. I guess that's good. Bad thing is you at Baltimore in the first round at night in a rowdy environment again, instead of handling your business last week and going to play a team in the Texas who's struggling as bad as the Steelers. But now the second good part about that is you're playing the Ravens. You are one of the few teams who generally control Lamar Jackson. He got off on you the last time, but that's the first time. So that's the first time he's ever got off on Pittsburgh. So you do have that in your pocket. Here's the big elephant in the room, though. The coaches are going to get on the plane. If the coaches stay back in Pittsburgh and the players coach the game, Pittsburgh got a hell of a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, we bring in the coaches who, quite frankly, won't let them play.
No.
Unless the situation look dire. Now the defense has to get 3 straight stops, and we got to go get 2 touchdowns, so we better open it up. You can't win like that. And it's shown over the last 4 weeks.
Let me paint a picture
one
for
mistake,
you. Oh, sorry.
One mistake, and the whole train's derailed in that scenario, and that's what's been happening.
Oh, 100%. Let me paint a picture for you, though, real quick, just to illustrate for everyone what Lou is talking about with the coaches. Okay? Over 90 seasons, the Pittsburgh Steelers have made the playoffs 35 times and have won 6 championships. Over the past 10 seasons, that's 2015 to 2024, they've made the playoffs 7 times, won 3 playoff games, and have 0 championships.
Yeah.
That's 10 seasons of the Steelers. Mike Tomlin is 8-10 in the playoffs with 4 of those losses coming in the last 5 years. Because I think 1 year we didn't make the playoffs. We were 9-8.
Yeah, didn't make it.
But we've lost almost every first round we've played. Even when we had the bye, we lost immediately in the what was it, divisional round?
Divisional round, yeah.
Is there a chance? And I get it. Never had a losing season. Rah. That matters if you're the Carolina Panthers or the Jacksonville Jaguars
Or
or
the
the Pittsburgh
Browns or
Steelers
somebody
or the
that's
Browns. Exactly.
irrelevant. Yeah.
Dude, the Browns would kill the entire city of Cleveland. The entire population would be murdered if
To
they
have
could
this
have
conversation.
that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
However, we are the Steelers. If coaches start or if teams start calling about Mike Tomlin's availability, as Adam Schefter has alluded to, are you taking that call now?
I'm absolutely taking the call. Well, first off, I'm gonna see what happens Saturday night. I'm gonna see if he's going. I'm gonna see if he's going to choose to remain comfortable with his job, or if he's going to start playing to win. Because you're not shutting the Ravens out. You can't shut everybody out. Just the NFL. Ain't nobody getting shut out. When was the last shutout? I think somebody might have got shut out this year. But come on, man. All they want to do is play defense. But when we get the ball, we're gonna run up the middle, We're going to throw a predictable pass on third down and wonder why it got incomplete or Russell got sacked.
Yep.
You know, so I'm accepting the call because look, everybody needs that change of scenery. And I think it's time for a change of scenery for Mike if he can't get this done. So if somebody want to offer you a couple first-round picks, because he is worth at least 2 first-round picks because of his track record.
He's top 3 coach in the league right now. Not even a question.
You know, let trade him and break the bank and bring Ben Johnson in, offensive coordinator for the Lions. If you can talk him out of leaving Detroit, which I don't know why you wouldn't be able to be. Pittsburgh has the same talent they got. They have a really good receiver and Williams is coming on, but Ahmad, Ryan, and Pickens are the same skill level.
Yep.
They got a really good tight end. We got a really good tight end. They have the better line. You know, our defense is way better. Bring him in and trade Mike Tomlin. But you're going to have to pay that man, though. But the compensation be at least 2 first-round picks and then pay this coach to take over this team. Give that man with his offensive creativity Justin Fields. Like, I know, and look, this isn't me banging on Russ, even though, like, when the game was going, I'm like, throw the ball, Russ. And then I look at it, go, where? Nobody was open.
No.
Nobody got open. Where was he going to throw it? But that's why you put Fields in. If they ain't going to get open, he can at least take off and run.
Well, that's it. Look, I mean, our top receivers this past week, Mike Williams had 1 catch for 25. Najee was 4 for 20. Van Jefferson, 3 for 18. Pickens 1 for nothing. And then Freiermuth was, of course, 8 for 85. Yeah. That's okay. Let me just, I didn't mean to transition into this right now, but can we talk about George Pickens real quick? Because I banged on him a couple times needing to grow up. And I'm just going to toss this out here. And I mean this with all due respect, because I think this dude has great talent, fantastic potential.
Yeah.
But man, cousin, if you are not Terrell Owens, don't be acting like Terrell Owens.
And
you know what I'm saying?
I do. But if anybody, I ask everybody this. Does he need to grow up? Yes, I've said it. But I also ask everybody this. Would you be mad if you were him? Sure. You got all that talent. They guard you one-on-one, and they still won't throw you the ball. And he watched football too. So you go watch Malik Neighbors play with me quarterbacking and get 15 targets. Yep. You watch Brian Thomas Jr. playing with Mac Jones getting targets. You playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers and they won't throw you. Damn right I'd be mad. And I don't give it. If anybody tell me they wouldn't, they wrong. Now, arguing with the fans, I would never do as a player because that's what you gonna do. Argue with all 66,000 of them? You can't win that argument. So don't even engage with the fans. He's wrong for that. But getting pissed on the sideline, how come ain't nobody complaining about Garrett Wilson going off?
Or Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill took himself out of the game once he saw what was happening with the Broncos Broncos Chiefs. Once he saw that was happening, he took himself out of the game in the fourth quarter, had the press conference where he said, I'm out.
He said he ain't leaving.
I'm too competitive to be just on the field. So yes, but here's my, I guess, my question. That's Tyreek Hill. That's a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver. Yeah. One of the top in the game. You're George Pickens right now. Yeah, you can get mad. And I'd say the same thing to Garrett Wilson. You can get mad. You can even ask to be taken out of the game.
You can't do
just
that.
Just going out there going through the motions is just, that's rough.
I don't think he was going through the motions. I think he had a bad game. Everybody's entitled to one. He ain't the only one that's had one. They lost 4 in a row.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, Dan Moore had a terrible game. Hendrickson ate him up. He looked like the dude that we wanted to cut 2 years ago.
Hell, Van Jefferson hasn't played a game yet, but he's still on the field.
Yeah. So he had as many catches Saturday as he's had in the last 5 games. 3. It's like, come on. So, yes, but when was the last star wide receiver that Pittsburgh's had that hasn't acted like this? I will wait. He wasn't their number one. It was always Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace. They all cut fools. Yeah. Santonio Holmes, they all cut fools. Martavius Bryant, they all acted up. This is who Pittsburgh drafts as their top wide receivers. They act a fool.
That's true.
Then the guys you never hear from that produce a whole lot, Hines Ward, Calvin Austin, when they throw him the ball.
Yes.
Guys like that in that slot. Antoine Randall. These guys don't act up. They just play that slot and do their thing. Further out you get from the ball, and if anybody play football will tell you this, further out you get from the ball, more of this you get.
Oh, yeah.
The more of this you get, more foolishness.
Totally understand that. I guess then let me ask you this. Like Martavius, like Antonio, I'll even throw in Le'Veon Bell, some of these other guys who act the fool. They don't retire in Pittsburgh. They get shipped right out of town.
Neither will this one. But the thing that those guys that acted a fool in Pittsburgh had that he don't is a quarterback and a coordinator that would throw them the ball. And like to circle back to your initial point of, yeah, Lou, you're talking about, and you're right, I'm talking about Tyreek, like you said, T.O. And he's like, he's not them. They acted up from the word go to.
Right.
They cut a fool. Randy Moss came into the league complaining.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden they start throwing Randy Moss the ball and look what you got. And he never did quit complaining. He grew up when he retired.
Yes, exactly. Keyshawn Johnson wrote a book called "Throw Me the Damn Ball."
Throw me the damn ball.
You're not right. Yeah. You're not wrong, and I guess you understand that you're going to take some of that with the talent at that position. That does come with the territory.
But it also has to come with production.
That's it. But now, is it his fault or is it coaching?
So I know I'm playing 2 ends against the middle.
No, these are great. This is a great conversation.
Before anybody, you saying both, you playing, I'm talking about both sides of your mouth. Yes, I am. Because I understand you tolerate that with that amount of talent. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to tolerate it, that talent has to produce. Then I got to look at why is he not producing? Lack of opportunity. Because all we want to do is run the ball. We only want to throw it on 3rd and 8. If it's 3rd and 4, Pittsburgh running.
Yep.
Come on, man. How about you throw it on 1st down and make it 2nd and 6 and 3rd and 2? And maybe you can run it. You can run or throw it.
That'd be fun.
We don't throw it. When was the last time we threw a ball on 1st down when we were leading or tied? I could be wrong. It could have been Saturday, but I don't think it was. I said leading or tied. When was the last time we threw the ball on 1st down? Crazy. Absolutely amazing. You know what I think it was? I think it might have been the last time we played the Bengals. Because we knew we had to score. Had to score points. Yeah. We don't throw the ball on 1st down. I'll have to look up that stat. We'll have to look up that stat. Or run the throw percentage on 1st down. I bet you it's 88% run.
Oh, it has to be. Has to be. I mean, my God, from the box score alone, you would think just based on the yardage, it has to be. From last week's game, we had 119 yards rushing, 193 passing. I mean, players.
But the kicker, the kicker in my statement,
We ran 25 times.
And then I don't know the word I'm looking for. You're the author here, but in my statement, I'm specifying when we're tied or ahead. When was the last time we threw the ball on first down?
100%.
I am telling you, the offense is so predictable. This is what we were afraid of when they hired him. As we started this show, we talked about it, and I was Mr. Optimism, but I'm done with Arthur Smith. I mean, man, come on. And which means I'm done with Tomlin because you watching him do it.
Look, this is
You
two
watching him
offensive
do it.
coordinators at least in a row that Tomlin hired his friends, and his friends have underperformed, and he has not been a good enough friend to tell his buddy, hey, man, you need to right the ship or else we got to make a change. If I was underperforming on this show, the first person to tell me off air would be my co-host Lou. He'd be like, hey, man, you need to step it up. This isn't what we envisioned.
Yeah,
we need to make some
that's
changes.
The way it works. You know what's? Let me tell you how bad Matt Canada was. Arthur Smith looks better.
Oh, yeah.
That's how bad Matt Canada was. Like, how can you be that bad? But this, I mean, I'm telling you right now, this is an abortion with a rusty fishing hook. This offense is pathetic. With all that talent over there, even at lacking, we got two good wide receivers. We have not all pro. I haven't fired moved into all pro yet, but he is a Pro Bowl tight end. Dude's good enough to be in the Pro Bowl.
If there weren't some straight up dogs,
it's just some
tight
dogs.
End, he's right there.
But we have a top 10 tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Not even arguable. You sliding between 5 and 10. I was sliding between 5 and 10. I'd have to pull them all out, and that's league wide. But then you have Pickens, world of talent. Calvin Austin, world of talent. Then we got to start searching for people. They need to get Darnell Washington involved more. Jalen Warren's electric. Right now he's an undrafted Jahmyr Gibbs. Because he's an undrafted free agent. Jahmyr Gibbs went in the top 10, maybe 11. He's a poor man's Jahmyr Gibbs. I am not saying he's as good as Jahmyr Gibbs because that kid is pushing to be the best back in the league. Especially after that mess he pulled last night in that game. He went crazy. But so imagine what he would do if he wasn't splitting time. So now imagine what Jalen Warren could do if he wasn't splitting time. But in order for that to happen, you have to get rid of a running back who's plodding, slow to the line, but gets you over 1,000 yards every year he's been in the league. First person to do that in, I think it's 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
So there's nothing technically wrong with Najee. We have an offensive coordinator don't know how to use the people you got.
No, and I mean, look, it's not exactly innovative to use a two-back system where your elusive or scat back or even a receiving back starts the game and gives you that jump start, and then you have a goal line guy, a short yardage guy, like a Najee, who can get in there and just pound the ball.
But what's funny is
what's wrong with that?
I don't know if we were recording yet or not when I brought up Ben Johnson. I don't think we were. I have short-term memory loss.
You were.
But the offense I just described to you, those skill set players is what Detroit plays with. The two running backs. Montgomery's a hammer. Gibbs is a scat back with a little power. That's what Pittsburgh has. That's why feel free to trade Mike Tomlin if somebody calls and go break the bank for Ben Johnson. He'll come to Pittsburgh. I understand why he didn't want to go to the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
You know, who else? Somebody else called and he was like, nah, cuz I'm good. I understand why he wanted to stay in Detroit. He looked at the roster of where he would be going and said, what the hell I'm going to do with this? Because y'all will fire me before I can build it. He comes to Pittsburgh, is sitting in the locker room going, what we doing, coach? And watch how different this offense would look. You can even I'm still not crazy about the defensive coordinator, but you can even keep him.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I think he'd go with Tomlin, which wouldn't break my heart because that game Saturday night, I'm sitting there at my daughter's house down in Charlotte, man, going, come on. If you don't walk these DBs up, how many times you going to let them throw a 5-yard out before you walk these DBs? And What in the hell was Corey Trice trying to do guard Chase Brown one-on-one?
I think that's called let Jamar Chase eat. He's going to do what he's going to do.
And I get the philosophy of what they were trying to do. They had Minka bracketing him over top.
Yep.
Okay. So you know what the Bengals did? Said, no, we just ain't going to run over top. We're going to shake this kid short and beat him up 8 to 10 yards down the field while Minka's 20, 25 yards off the ball.
10 catches, 95 and a touchdown.
Man, I'm sitting there like this. If they don't, then my daughter said, oh, they finally switched. I said, no, they didn't. T. Higgins hurt his ankle. That's the only reason they switched. Again, then go look at the game again. How many catches did Jamar Chase have after T. Higgins left the game when we walked Joey Porter off over to him and still bracketed him? And that's a credit to Jamar Chase of how good he is. You got to put your number one on him and still walk a safety over.
100%.
That's how good that kid is.
Everybody in the playoffs is very happy the Bengals did not make it.
Nobody wants to see that offense.
The Chiefs are getting edible arrangement baskets sent to them in droves today. 31 of them.
It won't be today because they can't get out of Kansas City because of the blizzard.
That's right.
Hell, the Chiefs still in Denver. They got stuck in Denver.
Chiefs could probably play anywhere. Well, I mean, they got a couple weeks before they have to worry about it, but they could probably play anywhere for a little bit. Lou, I want to do something here. I know we're a Steelers show, but I want to run through the bracket, AFC, NFC. I want to get our predictions in and locked. And for everybody out there, this is not betting advice. This is not against the spread. This is just a pick 'em for fun and for giggles. So
what he's saying, y'all, is money line. Hey, y'all do that on your own. I ain't trying to hear it.
What I'm saying is if you want gambling advice, you got to pay for that, my friend. We don't just give that for free. But also don't ask me because I haven't won a bet in, I think, over a decade. It's insane.
I will because I give them away.
Yes, you do.
You know, I don't put money on them. I just tell you.
All right. Let's get into this, Lou. Saturday, 4:30 p.m. You got the Chargers, 5 seed, going to Houston. The struggling Texans. Man, credit to Harbaugh for getting that roster into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean they got a couple young pieces on offense that they got working with the veteran quarterback and veteran running back. Now that Dobbins is back, their defense got some pieces on it, but I don't like him, but he's a good coach.
He really is. He just
has them playing good football.
But yeah, he's a good coach, and I tell you what, I'm taking them to beat Houston. I'm taking the Chargers in the first upset.
Are you just talking straight up games?
Straight up games.
Let's see. Houston lost their whole receiving core. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, the Chargers. I look for the Chargers to win that one because Houston has nobody else left to throw to, except Nico Collins.
I'm going to save the most important game for last, so I know I'm skipping around. Sunday at 1:00, Denver and Buffalo go head to head. I tell you what, man, if there is any kind of weather in Buffalo, Denver could be sneaky, but I'm still taking Buffalo.
Look, Buffalo by 17.
Yeah.
Welcome to the playoffs, Denver. We applaud you. You're just a year early.
Yep.
Great
coaching job by Sean Payton, who I also do not like, but great coaching job from you, and awesome for Bo Nix. I feel really good for that 42-year-old. He's playing some good football.
Just like, look, in 2 games you're gonna get. In 2 games you're gonna get to another team that's a year early.
Yep.
But this next game,
I know exactly who you're talking about. But this next game. Well, I'm skipping our game. I'm gonna roll over to the other NFC. Green Bay at Philadelphia. Jordan Love hurt his elbow.
That's the game I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Tampa Bay, Washington.
No, that's the one I said the team is too early on.
Okay, that's yeah.
That's the night game. This game, if that kid's elbow was fine, this is going to be a hellfire football game. Because remember, Green Bay almost beat them down in Buenos Aires or wherever the hell they was playing at in South America to open the season. This could be a really good game. If his elbow is not hurting, this could be an upset, but I think he's banged up, and I think the Eagles pull it out.
Yeah, Green Bay did almost beat them in a
It
third
was
world country.
32-29.
And going to Philadelphia is like going to a third world country. So it is possible. However, I am taking Philadelphia as well. Let's go to Washington and Tampa Bay. I am 100% with you on this. Washington, who I predicted would get this far, but also, like Lou said, they're a year early. Baker Mayfield is just playing lights out football. And for a player who rubbed me all the wrong ways in college, no Diddy, that he is 100% somebody I'm rooting for. I love the turnaround on this young man, hell, he's like 35 now. But I love Baker Mayfield. I love what Tampa Bay's doing. I'm taking them.
Yeah, and they get the NFC. They get the NFC team again this year. Last year they beat the Eagles, and this year they'll beat Washington.
There you go.
Washington and Denver are two teams that are just a year early. I believe the Chargers are as well, but I think the Texans are just too banged up.
100%. 100% agree. I think if the Texans had their receiving core, they would
I would take the Texans.
Chargers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally for the non-important playoff games this week, Minnesota at LA. Despite the performance yesterday, which we've discussed off air a little bit, and some of the play calling that the Vikings chose, I believe in the Vikings. I love Sam Darnold's story. I think the Rams are I don't think they got the horses yet. They can score with people. I just don't see it happening, though, against this Minnesota defense. They're just rough.
Yeah, Minnesota's defense is too tough, and Cooper Kupp has fallen off a cliff. What I do like about the Rams in this game is their coach. He had the balls to sit their players, knowing if they lost, they'd play Detroit or Minnesota. He didn't give a damn. We got a coaching staff that seem not to believe in our players.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't get it. I mean, Sean McVay could coach a team. If the Steelers got Sean McVay, I'd be a happy man. Because the dude can coach. He trusts his players. He coaches and lets his talent play. That's why this team look at the lack of talent they have.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still in the playoffs. And they're going to give the Vikings fits for about the first half. And then I think they threw. I think they threw after that. But 100%. Kudos to them. But the Vikings are going to beat them.
No, totally agree. And speaking of, and by the way, you had made a comment about how the coaching staff not up to par and coaching. Arthur Smith said it in the first loss. I've gone back to this every single time, or the first game against the Falcons. He was scared coaching against a couple of their players. That's it. That's all I needed to hear.
That's it.
And so that leads us Saturday at 8 p.m. January 11th. Pittsburgh visits Baltimore. The rivalry game in the NFL, as far as I'm concerned. The rest of them don't even come close to what this game is.
Yeah, that's why this game will be close for 2.5 quarters. That's it. That's the only reason it'll be close. You'll know in the first quarter if Pittsburgh is going to win this game. Give Pittsburgh 2 series, and you'll know if we're going to win this game. That's the bottom line. If they come out up the middle, pass, punt, up the middle, pass, punt, start the buses. This shit's over with. And it will be a rout. They'll get blown out the stadium. Because Baltimore ain't playing like that. They're playing to score touchdowns. They're not playing just to keep your offense off the field. You score a touchdown, doesn't matter if they come back on the field. So you're going to know in the first quarter if this coaching staff came to win a football game or came to try not to get blown out in a football game. I'm not talking about the players. Players are fine.
Oh, yeah.
You give them the basic-ass schemes, what they supposed to do. They got to do what the coach say do, or you out of a job. So, but my prediction, like you look at this one, I think Pittsburgh is a 9.5 point underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh 9.5. So all of you who do bet better go pick the Ravens before it go to 12. because by the time this game kick off, this will be an 11-point spread. All depends on how Vegas got to push the money to get money on both sides. But my prediction for this game, because the coaches have lost my confidence, is the over and under is 46. Pittsburgh scores 13 points and the game goes over. Wow. Y'all decipher however that word is, decipher that. Y'all figure it out. Because I can't even say the damn word. I'm pissed.
It's not long division.
Go over.
That means what Lou just said is Baltimore is going to rack up about 30 points on us and may win by 20. FYI.
I see a 34-13 game coming.
Oh.
Somebody explain to me why I don't see it.
No, I'd love to, man. I would love to say something. The only thing you have in this to go against what you are saying is the fact that it is a rivalry game in our history against Lamar. However, as you also pointed out, Lamar figured something out last game.
That's the realistic me as we do this show. This is the fan in me. This is what I see. We took his best shot. We had the ball with a chance to tie it. We threw the pick six, 14-point swing. We couldn't catch back up. They score again late. Bow, you lose by 17 when you really had a chance. It was 7-7 when Russ fumbled on the goal line. If Russ don't fumble, we're up 14-7. Then he throws a pick six. Pittsburgh could have easily won that game. Kept shooting ourselves in the foot. So will the coaches bottle up and get nervous? And we made mistakes the last time, so let's just shrink it up, which is what I think will happen.
Yep.
Now, the optimistic side of me and the fanboy side of me saying, hell no. I look for Pittsburgh to muck it up and win 23-20.
Well, I tell you what, I would love for that to happen. I am more on the side of the more realistic Lou.
The realistic Lou.
And as we wrap up the show, I will go ahead and stick with your prediction that we are going to probably get dusted in the last 2.5 quarters of this game. And if anybody out there has any kind of psychiatric contacts for Lou and his split personalities, man, we'd love to balance this out. We're going to get a champion if we do. I tell you that right now.
I'm giving you a realistic perspective of the blowout, which is probably what's going to happen. Then I've been a fan for too long, baby. I've been a fan 47 years. I got the hope in one hand and wish in the other one. I'm gonna see which one will fill up first.
You do that. For Lou Willard, I'm Corey Idle. Do not shit in your hands, people. We will see you next week on Six Rings and Counting.